Okay, so we've got Guns N' Roses, Foo Fighters and Green Day. We've also got a new presenter, Dev. Cut to the intro.
When you're ready.
And today's main story is Nickelback are set to release their new album, which is their 7th album so far, on the 21st of November. The Canadian rock band have produced the album themselves at Mountain View Studios in Vancouver. They are preparing to do their biggest tour yet in 2012, with this album being the lead thing. The new album Here and Now will be led by two main singles, Here and Together and Bottoms Up. That's it for the main story today. Matt cannot be with us today, so we have Dev, our new presenter, to step in for Matt. So yeah, Dev, take it with the...
I'm going to talk about the new Foo Fighters album, Wasting Light. This album came out just before Dave Grohl won the Girl Like Genius Award at the MTV Awards night, where they played a full set with the new songs from the album Wasting Light. This album was debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart, being the first Foo Fighters album ever to do so. This album is a lot heavier than other recent albums. It sounds a lot more like some of the earlier stuff. In fact, this entire album was actually recorded in Dave Grohl's garage. He went to the actual studio and he said, well, I want you to make it sound like I filmed it in my garage. But guys went, well, why don't you film it in your garage then? So they did. So every morning they got up and they just recorded it in his garage, and with the sound quality you can really tell, because it just sounds like they're doing it live. It's really good. Before the album was released, they brought a single out called Row. It gives you the basic gist of what's to come in the rest of the album. This album's really a lot heavier than some of the other stuff that they've done, and I think, to be honest, they've gone back to what they used to be, which is a lot better. My favourite song in this album is a song called White Limo, which video is all Foo Fighters getting ran over basically by a limo driver. The limo driver is played by Lemmy, and that is just basically just explains what the song's about. The song lyrics are that distorted and heavy that you can't even understand what they're saying. In fact, in one of the interviews, Dave Grohl even said himself that he doesn't know what half the lyrics are, and I think it's really just a present to most of the heavy metal fans that follow Foo Fighters. I think it's just a really good song. Overall, though, some pretty awesome songs in this album, and there should be a link here.
And today's song review is going to be Cigarettes and Valentines by Green Day. They released it in their live album Awesome, and it hasn't been recently. It was actually set to be released before they made American Idiot. They had wrote a full album, the album being called Cigarettes and Valentines. As they wrote the songs, they had them recorded, and they were near to the end of finishing that, and a Jew broke into the studio and stole the master copies, so they couldn't remember the songs that they had then recorded, except for one, Cigarettes and Valentines. And why they decided to keep it after two albums and then release it on their live CD beats me. They've never said why. And yeah, so let's go into the actual song itself. The song itself is back to their original roots. It's really punk rocky. It's not like the alternative, slower kind of stuff that they've been doing with 21st Century Breakdown and partly with American Idiot. However, this may be because it was released shortly after they had produced Warning. However, Warning was starting to get that slower alternative thing. However, it was still considered to be punk rock, as that was all that they had ever done before. The actual song is really good. It's filled with power chords and all the usual Green Day stuff. Not many chords used, and it's great, and it's got good lyrics, and it's catchy, and...
Right, and now it's time for our moderator questions. We've had a moderator suggestion this week, and it's that a user wants us to play some Lady Gaga or Jedward. So, here we go. And that's enough of that then. Right, this is the part of the show where I talk about tours. We've just been told that the American tour dates for the next Guns N' Roses tour have been released. They've been listening to play in Orlando, Miami, and Kansas City. This is the first tour since 2006. So I think we should just keep our fingers crossed that we're gonna
And today's other news is Michael Jackson fans are angry that the Michael Jackson concert tickets have gone down. I'm confused as well. Basically, all of the Michael Jackson concerts that were originally scheduled have been kept, but put as tribute concerts for him. The schedulers decided to keep them on but turn them into a tribute gig. Have said that they wanted to make them cheap, obviously, because it's not going to be Michael himself that's playing. All of the Michael Jackson fans are now angry at that because they get to go in cheaper. Michael Jackson's fans are douches. Alright, thank you for watching this episode of Music Matters. You can watch the last episode there, and you can also check out mine, Matt and Dev's channel there. If you like this episode enough, then you can click the yellow subscribe button there. and if you want to watch the outtakes of the video that you have just seen, then you can click a bar that is going to be here in a couple of moments time. I'm going to leave you with a couple of outtakes now. Ta-ta!